Exercise problem 7. The same 3 questions. In this, the formula is very important. Not only the formula, what are the items that should appear in the numerator and what are the items that should appear in the denominator, you should know. The first one is debt equity ratio. What is debt equity ratio? The debt equity ratio is equal to long-term debts by shareholders fund. So we should find the items for long-term debts and shareholders fund. What is given for long-term debts? The only and the one item is the long-term borrowings. That is for numerator. Long-term debts is equal to long-term borrowings. That is, in this problem, long-term borrowings is debenture, 6% debenture. This is equal to, what is the amount of long-term borrowings? 3 lakhs. Denominator, shareholders fund. Shareholders fund. What are the items coming under shareholders fund? Just now I said all types of shares given plus reserves and surplus. So what are the types of shares given? Equity share capital, plus preference share capital plus reserve and surplus. So what is the amount given there? We can find the values now. Under 7. Equity share capital 2,50,000. Plus preference share capital 2 lakhs plus reserves and surplus 1,50,000. Totally 6 lakhs. Now we have found out the answer for both numerator and the denominator. Numerator 3 lakhs. Denominator 6 lakhs. So this is equal to 3 by 6. For 6, what we should write? 1. Then you divide 3 by 6. It will be, or you simplify 1 by 2. If you divide this is 0.5. Yesterday itself I told you for 1 by 4 0.25, 1 by 2 0.5. 3 by 4 0.75. Now these things you should remember. So this is equal to 0.5 is to 1. This is the debt-equity ratio. Then regarding proprietary ratio, what is the formula for proprietary ratio? Proprietary ratio is equal to, the denominator becomes numerator, shareholders fund divided by total assets. Total assets. So you find the value for numerator, find the value for denominator from the problem given, then you substitute them, find the answer. That is numerator, shareholders fund shareholders fund given here already, we have done it. Anyhow, you do once again. Share capital plus preference share capital plus reserves and surplus. Reserves and surplus. This is equal to the same amount, 2,50,000 plus 2 lakhs plus 1,50,000, which is equal to 6 lakhs. And the numerator we have found out. Denominator, total assets. See, what are the total assets it is given? What we should write if we want to list out the things, what you should write? Fixed assets, inventories, trade receivables, cash and cash equivalents, expenses paid in advance. 5 items are given. You should write all the 5 items and add. But instead, in the problem itself, they have found out the total assets as 12 lakhs. You can write straight away. Since the total is given in the problem itself, you can take this as granted. This is equal to shareholders fund 6 lakhs whole divided by 12 lakhs. Then if you simplify, 5 zeros will be cancelled. For 12 you put 1. This is 6 by 12 and this is equal to 1 by 2, 1 by 2 by 1, which is equal to 0.5 by 1 equal to 0.5 is to 1. This is the proprietary ratio. The third one is the capital gearing ratio. What is the capital gearing ratio? Capital gearing ratio is equal to funds bearing fixed interest and fixed fixed interest and fixed dividend. That is funds bearing fixed interest or fixed dividend whole divided by the denominator is equity shareholders fund. Right. Funds bearing fixed interest and fixed dividend. Fixed interest item is debenture. Fixed dividend item is preference share. So, what are the items given for them? %8% debenture for the numerator. Funds bearing fixed interest or fixed dividend is equal to the two items are fixed interest item is 8% debenture plus fixed dividend will be 6% preference share. Debenture is 3 lakhs plus 6% preference shares 2 lakhs, which is equal to 5 lakhs. This is the funds bearing fixed interest or fixed dividend 5 lakhs. And the denominator equity share capital. If it is generally given shareholders fund all types of shares plus reserved surplus. If it is given equity shareholders fund, the formula it is given equity share, therefore only equity shares plus as usual reserves and surplus. So what is the amount of equity share capital? 4 lakhs. Equity share capital plus reserve and surplus. Equity share capital 4 lakhs. Reserve and surplus. Equity share capital 2,50,000. $2,50,000 plus reserve and surplus 1,50,000. So it comes to 4 lakhs. It comes to 4 lakhs. Now we can substitute the values for this. What are there? The numerator value is 5 lakhs. For the denominator, the value is 4 lakhs. If you cancel all the zeros, the denominator value will be 1 and the numerator it is 5 by 4. Divide by 5 by 4. 1 4. Remainder 1. Add 1 0. Put the points. 2 4s are 8. remainder to 20, 5 fours are 20. So this is equal to 1.25 is to 1. 1.25 is to 1. This is the capital gearing ratio. So once again I repeat the same. What we have seen so far, there are two types of ratios. We have seen the first one, liquidity ratios, under which we found current ratio. Current ratio is equal to current assets by current liabilities. And the second type of ratio is quick ratio, which is equal to quick assets by current liabilities. So then the next second type is long-term solvency ratios. For long-term solvency ratios, there are three types of ratios. One is the first one, debt to equity ratio. The second one is proprietary ratio. Third one is capital gearing ratio. For these type of ratios to be calculated, what you should do? First, you should know what is the formula for each ratio. Debt to equity ratio, it is long-term debts by shareholders fund. Proprietary ratio, shareholders fund by total assets. And the third one, funds bearing capital gearing ratio, funds bearing fixed interest or fixed dividend divided by equity shareholders fund. You know first the formula. Then after knowing the formula, what are the different items for the numerator, what are the different items for the denominator, that also you should remember. It's not very difficult. Long-term debts means need about, in these types of problem, your root problem only debenture is that item. So that shareholders fund, when you talk about shareholders fund, different types of shares, that is equity share, only there are two types given in your book, equity share capital and preferred share capital. In addition to that, you should include reserve and surplus. So the denominator, numerator is found out, denominator is found out. So you divide this numerator by denominator by substituting it here and find the answer. Only and the one thing you should remember always, whatever the number in the denominator, you should put 1 only. Then after putting 1, you divide 3 by 6 and write the answer in the numerator. That is the procedure. Denominator lo 1 போட்டுட்டு அப்புறம் மேல உள்ள நம்பரால கீழ உள்ள நம்பரை டிவைட் பண்ணி வர ஆன்சரை மேலே போடு. 0.5. This is. You should remember, if you simplify 1 by 2, 1 by 2, 0.5, 1 by 4, 0.25, 3 by 4, 0.75. You should remember these things. In the examination hall, you should not waste your time. If you know these answers, you can write simply here and complete it. Then second ratio, proprietary ratio. What do you mean by proprietary ratio? Proprietary ratio is equal to shareholders fund by total assets. The same shareholders fund. 6 lakhs, 0. And what I have written. Then total assets. Actually, there are 5 items of total assets given. And therefore, what you must do, you should find all the total of 5 assets and you should write. But luckily, in the sum itself, the total assets is given. Therefore, you can make use of it. Therefore, total assets 12 lakhs. You can write 6 lakhs by 12 lakhs. Simplified, it is 1 by 2, 1626. Denominator, you put always 1. That is 1 by 2 is 0.5. Therefore, 0.5 is 2. The third formula is very important. Capital gearing ratio. What do you mean by capital gearing ratio? Capital gearing ratio is equal to funds bearing fixed interest or fixed dividend divided by equity shareholders fund. The two numerator and the denominators are different terms. Here funds bearing not interest and dividend, fixed interest, fixed dividend. Fixed interest is given only for debenture. Fixed dividend is given only for preference shares. You should know that. So this fixed interest item is debenture. You can find it. And the fixed dividend item is preference share. Therefore, these two items you add together and write. Then the next one is equity share capital. If it is share capital, preference share, equity share plus reserves and surplus. If it is equity share capital, equity share capital fund, equity shareholders fund, in that case, only you should take equity share plus general reserve. Reserve and surplus. So you add these two, you will get numerator value by denominator value, divide. For cancel all the 5 zeros, for 4 you put 1, 5 by 4. If you divide 5 by 4, you will get 1.25, that is 1.25 is to 1. You can write.